Hi, everybody. It's Tuesday, so we're here with Business Tarot Tuesdays tonight. So if it's your first time here, just say hello. Let me know who you are, maybe where you're from. I don't know. Just share something about you. But you guys know how this works. If you are, coming back from other Tuesdays, I love reading people over and over again. Sorry, I have some weird noises going on my head with the music. I have a little shamanic music playing in the background just to kind of like set the tone and set the beat, but we might have to turn it off if there's any interesting sounds that are coming out of the speaker over here. So if you guys are here, if you would like to have a reading tonight, just go ahead and start dropping your question in the comments. And what we do is we do a number system here. I like to invite spirit in to choose who goes and in what order. And so I have Solange who works on my team, and she's going to help you by giving you a number, and I'll find out at any point how many people we're sort of up to. And I just pick a number that comes to my head so that it could feel like spirit gets to choose the order and who goes in what way. Because what I find is that sometimes if you're listening and you're waiting for your turn, sometimes a message comes in for another person that actually might feel like it's for you as well. You might feel like, like that kind of feels like it applies to me as well, because it probably does. So hi, Renee. I know, Renee, we can actually do you first, girl. Like, I know that we have a 6:30 reservation, but until people start to kind of show up and claim their numbers, we're happy to get you in early. I do offer for just future Tuesdays, since I'm always here Tuesdays from, I'm going to turn the speaker off. I'm having a little bit of a distraction moment over here with this music. I just think the music's not meant to be today, guys. So that's okay. It's okay. Okay. It's off. So Renee, perfect. So I am going to do Renee first, since she's a part of my group, the How to Make Money Being Magical. We offer essentially free reserved readings for Tuesdays. So if you want to always make sure that you're getting your reading and you're getting into the top of the line, I do actually give priority to people and give reservations for the group. So you can find me, you can look me up. So Renee, to get started with you, all that I would need is a question about your business. It will help me be just a little bit more specific. It will help me tune in and just basically try to see if there's any information, any energy that wants to come through. It helps us get more specific in terms of the reading. So I'll look for that for you. And then anybody else that's watching and that's hopping on, if you guys want to receive a reading tonight around a topic, really anything related to business, which I also group career, money, purpose into that business kind of realm, drop your question or say, hey, I want a reading, and Solange is going to assign you a number. Okay, so I'm just watching the comments on my end. And I'd appreciate as well if you guys, as we're getting rolling this evening, if you can like or leave a comment or share or follow or subscribe, depending if you're watching from YouTube or Facebook. That would really help me. It always helps more people find these readings. It helps me get what I'm doing out there, what my work is. So I would really appreciate that as well. Okay, so we're waiting for Renee's question. Here we go. So I'm going to pull this into the screen. And I have a little bit of allergies going on, so I don't know if it's my earphones or if it's like my congestion, but I feel like my voice sounds like different, or I might just be hearing it different. Okay, so I'm an LMFT and a Reiki practitioner. I'm really wanting to grow. I feel like it's easier to focus on one at a time. Which direction should I go in as far as growing? Okay. So I'm going to pull 2 cards for you. I'm going to use my Angel Tarot. I also want to just pull from life purpose just to see what we're getting. I usually do 1 card, but you're coming in from with a reservation, so I feel like we should do 2. Okay, Renee, if you could set the intention that guides, angels, anybody that you want to join you in this reading, higher self, that you just set the intention that they come and bring information and invite them to our gathering right now. And I'm going to take a moment to connect in with you and see what wants to come in on this, okay? Okay. So I got two cards. First is the Freedom card, because I find it interesting that this one comes in. It says you're free to do what you choose, meaning that, and I'm going to pair it with the Six of Air card, which is very much about the thinking and the intellect. My sense is that they're showing us that you might have been thinking about this like in a more rigid kind of way, that it might be sort of an either this or that, or this is the best way for me and this is what I always have to do. So what I'm noticing is that they're showing that it might be good to expand your way of thinking and your thought process around this, because I'm hearing you say like, it's easier to focus on one at a time. And so I'm wanting you to look at the difference between what feels easier, right? And let you look what's kind of the path that is going to be easiest and most direct, as well as the path that is maybe most fun, right? Like maybe it's not the easiest, but maybe it's sort of like more fun and exciting. So I'm just sort of naming a few potentials. I feel like there's endless amounts and sort of ways to see it, but they're basically, it feels like sort of being like, well, what would you have the most fun doing? What would you enjoy doing the most? And really pointing you towards making your choice from that place within you. The Six of Air says that things are looking up, the end of an additional situation, and taking a trip. So to me, I'm connecting with sort of like it being more of an internal journey right now. I feel like you're going to be what feels like a kind of soul discovery kind of journey. What they're showing me is like, it's kind of like a rebirth type of energy that's coming in through the end of this year. And that I feel like through this really looking inward, that you're going to be making a choice about what you're doing next. It feels more about like how you want to specialize, or almost sort of like what you would want your brand or public image to be, because they're showing me that it's more like kind of people facing, but that it starts inward. And I see you really, just like very looking deep. And I feel like, I know sometimes it's disappointing because we just want like a quick answer. But they're really showing me that it's going to take a little bit of time for you to sort out a few bigger choices that you want to make, because it sounds like the bigger choices about where you want to be in the coming months, or like kind of next year and in the years to come and beyond, would relate back to this decision. So my sense with this is just not to rush it, and to take that inward soul journey, and from there, from sort of like working backwards to make a choice from that place. Okay, so I'll leave it at that. Hello. So when you guys are checking in, and I'd love to know like how that lands, Renee. I'd love to know if that's making sense. So let me know. So if you guys are just hopping in and just joining me and you'd like a reading, make sure that you check in with Solange, and she's going to be giving you a number. She's going to be giving you a number. Justine, I know we have you at 6:15. We'll probably do somebody right before that. And then I'll call out the number. Solange, do we have numbers for people yet? Well, I'm going to add you in.
Yeah.
We do. What number are we up to?
Number 1, Alain. She's the first one. Yeah. And then we have Justine, which is
Justine. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So we'll do Elaine and then Justine. So thanks, Solange. So if you guys are just hopping in, just get your number, and we'll get you situated. We'll get you lined up for your reading. But hi, Carl. Hi, Tammy. Just saying hi to some of you guys. And then we'll go to Elaine here. Thanks, Elaine. Elaine, if you have a question, a specific question, we could just do like a general business reading of what we see. But if there's a specific question that you want to tune into, ask that in the comments and I'll look for that in just a moment. So Renee, you're saying that I'm the third person to tell you you're experiencing a rebirth. Okay. Trust that. Trust that. Okay. All right. So you're up, Elaine. I love doing readings for people for the first time. Okay. So if I don't hear something specific from you, Elaine, I will just kind of go ahead and pull a general card and see what's here. I'll give you another moment. And so for those that are new to me, I'm Ashley Bradley. I'm an intuitive business coach. So I teach a divine feminine approach to business. So instead of like hustling and striving and kind of seeking and just like pushing for things, it's really about calling it in, giving your intuition a seat at the table, and really finding that balanced approach between the masculine and feminine energies that are within us. So I do teach about finding clients as well. So I do work with a lot of coaches, a lot of spiritual freelancers and professionals, and I work with them about finding virtual clients. Okay, so Elaine, I want to know that the path that I'm following doing energy work is the right path. Okay, let's pull for you. All right, Elaine, just call in any angels, any guides, anybody that you want to show up for this reading, and I'll focus in on you, okay? Okay. So you definitely have a card that really feels like a healer kind of card. So this support card comes in for you. And if you see, there's sort of like I think it's called like a caduceus. It's this kind of traditional medical sign. It's coming in for you. What I see here is that you're in a business that is primarily supporting women. I feel like kind of like the sense of like a close community. Like there's a lot of ways, like when you're saying doing energy work, like I feel like there's a lot of different things that energy work can be done through. And so what I see you doing is I'm almost wondering, like, is health kind of like working on the physical body or sort of like physical healing? Because there's times where it might be energy work that might be more emotional. At times it might be energy work that might be working on some different kinds of like spiritual things like the chakras. But my sense with you, Elaine, tell me if this makes sense, is that like it almost seems like you like ground this practice down, and it seems like you're going to be a really good person during this great awakening for people to feel very comfortable with, because it's sort of like energy work in a very accessible way, because it almost seems like you have some kind of like understanding or experience around how it's healed like a physical ailment or something in the body. Does that make sense for you? Because it feels like it's almost like people are very open-minded because it's for a very grounded reason. Of course, there might be several different aspects. This is maybe what I'm seeing you doing in terms of like how you get your start, and then it kind of seems like it spurs off into different kinds of paths. But let me know if that makes sense, Elaine. I'm really curious. But I mean, this card right here, to me, it's like very much a healing journey, very much being, in that healer support kind of role for other people. Okay, so keep getting numbers if you're just showing up, and I'm going to go to Justine. because Justine, I do reservations for people that are in my How to Make Money Being Magical group. So join me, and I always put the call out for 3 people at least, give or take, to get a reserved reading so that you know like exactly what time and you don't have to sort of wait your turn. So one of the group perks, also another way is if anybody does want to jump to the top of the line or how, whatever we want to call it, if you do join me live via video, or if you hop on with even audio with your video turned off, we do have a link where I can actually pull you into the stream and like talk to you and hear your voice. So that's a way that just to really encourage that connection, that you can just get your reading very quickly. Okay. Justine. So I launched a group coaching program, wondering how it's going to do, how my business is going to grow after it. Okay. So I think I want this deck. I'm deciding on which card. Let's go with this one. Okay, so let's look at the growth and group coaching program. So Justine, if you can just set that intention, hold that in your heart, invite in guides, loved ones, higher self. Are you aware that you have a business guide, Justine? Because along with your regular guide, there's a business guide that that steps forward. So if you're not already working with that person, just start to ask for them, start to ask for their help specifically with this group program. So the Ace of Water is coming in. It's talking about spiritual growth, enhanced intuition, a new home. And this flow card is coming in, and it comes in upside down, which means that it's flow used as medicine. So in terms of the growth, what it feels like is sort of an open field of possibility right now. Like I feel like things can go in a variety of different directions, but it almost feels like a flower-filled kind of field. And I kind of just see you sort of like frolicking and just having fun. I do feel like this is my metaphor that's coming in for you in terms of flow. And there's going to be times where you're here and times when you're not here. And using flow as medicine is like consciously basically bringing yourself back to your place of flow, back to your place of creativity, back to your place of like creation just for the joy of creating. And so it's really important for you to stay in that energy, because it seems like they're just showing me that like the channels are very open naturally when you're here. You work with, this seems like basically instead of just like your main guide, like I'm just getting a sense that like 2 people stepped up, and that because we're asking about your business specifically, that it's a business guide. So if you want to connect in and just see if you can kind of get a sense of like their name or any of their physical impressions, like you really can just like call on and like ask for them. But I do get that sense for you, Justine. So the water cards, it's really kind of pointing me towards like your emotions, because first, obviously, to pick this card of flow, which is interesting, like it's also sort of depicting water, and you'll see that like it's sort of like she's holding it in her hands, right? As if she can create or sort of do anything. It kind of feels very Frozen-esque, like in that energy. And this other water card, so to me, it's interesting. While we always are just like, well, tell me like the time, tell me like what amount it's going to be and what percentage successful, like everything that I'm getting here from these cards is like pointing back to more about your emotional state and what you're choosing and what you're creating based on the energy that you are sending out into the world. So just what it feels like to me is that it's all coming from the heart right now. It's all flowing from the heart, and people are feeling that, and it feels like people are responding to that. And the more that you stay there, and if you feel like a little bit of a dip or a little bit of a worry, the more that you can bring yourself back there, the more that things keep flowing again, flowing and flowing. Okay, so you have felt out of alignment. You've made steps to course correct, and things are almost back in flow again. Yeah, so I feel like it did come in this way, so it's flow as medicine. So that is just like your place to return to, because it just feels like there's expansive opportunity here, is what they're saying. There's expansive possibility and opportunity here. Like, what do you want to create? What do you choose? And your steering wheel in terms of what you're choosing is all turning back right to that state of flow and allowing and emotions. And so it all comes back to that. I feel like kind of like how when we listen to Abraham Hicks, it feels like they give us the same like guidance over and over again, but sometimes we just need to hear the same things over and over again. So that's what I'm getting for you. And hopefully there was some kind of wording or image that I gave you that confirms something else. Okay, yes. So I'm going to see who we have next. Hi, Solange. Who do we have next?
So we have up to number 3. And we haven't done number 2 and 3.
Okay. Let's just do in order. Let's just do 2 and then 3. Who is that?
Great. So we have Lynn, number 2, and Tammy, number 3.
Okay. Okay.
We both left the questions here.
Okay. So Lynn or Tammy, if you can check in with me and just make sure that you're still here, that you're watching live. So Tammy about money. And Lynn was about, I'm not seeing Lynn's question. Are you seeing it?
Yeah,
Solange.
Let me see. It was here. I can't see it now. Let me check on Facebook.
Or Lynn, if you're watching, just drop the.
Will I have a career change and move to a different city? That was asking.
Okay, and that was Lynn?
Yeah.
Okay, Lynn, if you could just check in with me to make sure that you are still watching live, Lynn. I want to see at least more of like your name or something to connect in with you for the reading. I'm going to go with Tammy. My allergies kind of kicked in right as I was joining tonight. So hold on, let me fix my chair. Okay. Okay, Tammy. Okay. Tammy, I feel like I'm feeling a bit of the energy. So Tammy, what I want you to do is to just basically tune in if there's any like angels or passed over loved ones or anybody that you would usually like pray to or give thanks to, invite them into the reading. I feel like this might be your first reading, Tammy. Or have you had one before? I know I haven't done one for you. So I am going to tune into you, Tammy, and then we'll pull a card, okay? Okay. So Page of Fire card is coming in. And before we go to the card, Tammy, it was interesting. They kind of showed me like the feeling of being dizzy. And so it made me wonder if like you've been having like any dizzy spells at all lately. They just showed it to me really quick and then it went away. The other thing is that I kind of got this sense of like shuffling things around. Like the energy that came in was like moving things from here to there, do like a little bit of that, and then sort of like darting over here and doing this. And so it just felt like a lot has been moving around. Like I know that we're looking particularly at money for you, but that's just sort of the energy that steps in. So if something makes sense, like it would be helpful just to know what makes sense to you, what doesn't. And this Page of Fire card is talking about news of an exciting new endeavor, using your originality or your ingenuity. And so the essence that I get from this in terms of you and money is that it feels like you are very protected, that no matter how much you might have had like worries or doubts or like maybe like scares about things like over the years, it just kind of is this sense that like something always works out. Something always kind of just swoops in and it has its way of like working out for you. So I think that that's like a good overarching thing to notice and to just remember so that you can release like any kind of worries or fears or things like that. The other thing is like I get this sense of like kind of like growing roots, like kind of putting roots down. So I know like some of your background, but I just want you to connect in with that metaphor of like growing roots and how when roots are growing of a plant or a tree, it's all happening beneath the surface and that you can't see that it's going on, that like we might be there being like, nothing is happening. Like it's not moving. Like I don't see anything sprouting up yet, but it's like all happening underground. So I just want you to know that like the message is that even though you might not be like seeing or feeling like the results just yet, it feels like there's a lot of trust that needs to be here, that things are moving, that things are taking, that things are growing stronger, even though it might not be in the way that you think that it will look. So just keep that in mind. But that's what I have for you in terms of money. And I'll show you this picture here. Okay. Okay. Awesome. And then Lynn, I don't know if Lynn is back. Who else is here that wants a reading tonight? If you have a question about your business, or it might be related to money, it might be related to purpose, career. But I'm ready when you are, guys. And what else? Tammy says yes. I'm not sure what it is yes to, but I'm glad it makes sense. I'm glad that you're feeling it, that it feels resonant for you. And so what I often find for people and things to look out for when you are receiving readings is that sometimes a certain kind of image, a certain thought, or even the way that something is worded, while it might sound like something basic to somebody from the outside. Like I know that when I'm pulling and reading cards for myself, certain kinds of feelings or emotions will be named more specifically. So just watch if you have any like signs that have come in for you or specific wording or thoughts that's coming in as a confirmation for you. It's coming in to confirm that your intuition is in fact something that you can and should trust, and that I feel like a lot of times we're just sort of like looking for like outside confirmation that what we're receiving, what we've been feeling is in fact true and real. What else? So as I'm waiting, if there's anybody that wants to do a reading, we are taking the next person. And you guys are welcome to join me live if you want to feel like you're on like a radio show. You can just like click that video off and we can feel like we're just like on our own radio show and that you're calling in live. Okay. We're not getting Lynn's comments on StreamYard, but she's here. Okay. Let me turn on Solange's mic so she can tell me. So Lynn,
yes, she's here. She was talking to us through Facebook, but we are not getting the comments here. So
okay, what's her question?
She was saying about if she will have a career change and move to a different city.
Career change. Okay, perfect. Thank you. And then if you guys are watching from like a shared post, that sometimes won't trigger the comments where I can see it. But if you double click on the video, it'll take you to one of the original posts. And that will make sure that I can see your comments, just in case. I know sometimes I'll look back and I'll see after the fact that someone was commenting and I just like, they thought I was like ignoring them or they didn't see it. Okay, Lynn. Okay. Lynn, like, what they showed me is that you were like taking a pause, like it seemed like a break, and then this study card came in. So I'm just wondering for you, Lynn, like if you have been either considering a course, a training, a degree, like I feel like it might be even something that you've been buying books on the topic, but this is talking about reading, research, education, help you gain confidence and clarity about your career. So what I'm being shown is that it feels like, yes, that there's been things that have been interesting to you that you've either been looking into training or receiving training on, and that it's like the intention and the desire in your heart to make that career change. And so I feel like you're already on the path. So confirm that. I don't know that I can see your comments, but maybe Solange will see them, and maybe Solange, you could just put them in the comments, the backstage private chat or something, because I'm just curious. Okay, so we are ready to go to another person. What else do I have for you guys? So I have a group called How to Make Money Being Magical, and it is primarily made for women. It's primarily for women, although we all have a divine feminine side. As women, we have a sacred masculine side as well, but we live in a society that was built very much by men for men, meaning that a lot of the things, including business, has been very guided and conditioned by a very over masculinized energy. And that's why you see like so much about like hustling and kind of like striving and just like really doing things at all costs, right? Like just to make money, like have been very perpetuated in our culture, especially here in our US culture. And so this focuses on the divine feminine approach to business, where it is looking at creativity and intuition and flow, and it's more based on the being side, that you bring value, that you bring impact. What you're doing is very secondary, but the thing that gives you power and magic and really adds sort of that extra layer of what makes you different from every single human being on this planet or in this universe really comes through who you're being. And I know that, and I'm just sort of talking at you guys until I find who wants a reading. But I know that one of the affirmations that I used was an adjusted Bob Proctor affirmation when I was really kind of just dreaming up this business. And it was, I am so happy and grateful that I'm trying to think of what it is now. I'm so happy and grateful that money flows to me through increasing amounts and multiple sources on a regular basis. And I used to always add, by just showing up and being me. By just showing up and being me, by being me and sharing my gifts, that I create that abundance. And that is really my dream for people, because if you just imagine like all of the things that you love doing, those are your gifts for a reason. Those are the things that you're drawn to for a reason. And so while so many people right now are being really introspective, right? We're in this time of COVID, right? In this time where people are home and we're really sitting and thinking and not distracting ourselves with constant busyness, that people are really looking inward right now. And you might be in this place of like really looking at your career choice or your business choice, or just like really what you know about yourself and your purpose and why you're here. And I think the real message that I want to deliver to people is that it doesn't have to be some existential, like complicated thing, because I do feel like ultimately a lot of people are looking for their purpose in all the wrong complicated places and trying to just like figure it out. And it doesn't live there. It doesn't get found there. But when you return back to yourself and you let go of a lot of the conditioning and who people told you should be, you let go of all of that and you just get back to the true essence of who you are. Like really that is at the core of your purpose, right? The things that you love to do, the skills that you have, the gifts that you have, like they all were put there for a very, very specific reason. And I guarantee you that no one probably has the same unique magic combination that you have with the life that you've lived. So please just, if you're finding yourself here right now, hearing this message, if you're finding yourself really kind of getting curious about what's going to bring like more fulfillment or a sense of purpose or meaning with how you're making your money, just look back at yourself. Because oftentimes we want to look outside of ourselves. We want to look outward and feel like, oh, there must be a perfect career path or a perfect, boss for me that's going to make me, feel the way that I want to feel. But it all starts inward first. And I know we don't like hearing that answer because, we just live in a very instant gratification kind of society. But I just guarantee you that let this be more simple than you're making it. Okay. Yes, I can. Here, I'll write it right now. Okay. Well, maybe Solange can write it for me. I might shake the computer. Samantha, do you want a reading, Samantha? I feel like I possibly gave you like an Upwork spiel about this in the past. Let's see. Let me know if you're wanting a reading. Oh, I know what we might do. Okay, so Lynn, who we didn't see her comments, she said, yes, I'm wanting the change. Thank you for the confirmation that I'm moving forward on the right path. Okay, great, Lynn. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do for you, Samantha. We'll use a pendulum. So pendulums just choose, I guess I should say pendulums are more about like picking up on more subtle energies. So I'm going to use a pendulum chart for that one because I feel like you've asked this question and I gave you more of like an answer in terms of like my expertise and where I guide you. I'm just finding my chart here. Let's see. Give me one moment. I will tell you guys that on 10/10, I feel like I'm always like so hesitant right now with having like two little kids to put too many promises out there in terms of like delivering a course, because it is my first course, but I do have my Manifesting Through Upwork course that is about to be released, and I'm very excited about it. I've made over 6 figures on Upwork, and I know a lot about it. I know a lot about the ins and outs of using it and writing profiles and getting people to respond back to you and having it work for you consistently. So I'll just plant that seed for anybody out there that has a service-based business that they can do virtually, that I have an Upwork course that's coming out at the end of this week, 10/10, and you can just sort of drop a note if you want details about that. And the first 100 copies are actually going to be released for $33, and with like 15 modules, that's like an amazing deal. Okay, so Samantha, I'm just going to use the pendulum for you. So I'm going to go with this question, but pendulums, this is a metal pendulum. And so it just picks up on some more subtle energies. What I'm going to do is just see if there's 3 places that I'm feeling that you might want to focus in your attention a little bit more. Because sometimes if we're too scattered with our marketing efforts or efforts to get clients, we don't really see a lot of real effort. So for Samantha, okay. So what I am seeing for you, I'm going to do 3. Number 1 is Facebook and Facebook groups. Obviously, like run this through your own filters. See if this is something that you've been thinking about or something that feels like good or exciting when I say it. Even for myself, I would never just be like, the pendulum said it, so I'm doing it. But oftentimes, it's been something I've been thinking about. Okay, so groups. Facebook, like either groups that you're sort of like going and sort of adding value to people, hosting your own group, doing challenges, using your personal profile. That's one path that I'm seeing for you. The other for clients is so I'm getting Upwork for you as well for the second one. And the third one. Okay. So it's around like blogging and writing. So using either things on your website that people might be searching for that would then link back to your site. I'm seeing like writing as well in terms of like possibly an ebook that you put out as a freebie, possibly like email newsletter kinds of stuff where you're like putting out the freebie and really like keeping in touch with people and building that relationship of trust with people through your email list. I feel like even in the coming years that you'll probably write a book as well, and that'll be something that ends up being like a lead generator. Okay. Okay, so we do have more time if there's anybody else that would like a reading, would like to tune in to any of the things here that we've looked at. The floor is open. Just comment. I'm going to see Solange. Oh, there's private chat. Okay. Okay. So Solange, for the mantra would be for Elaine that asked, I am so happy and grateful that money comes to me in increasing amounts through multiple sources on a regular basis by simply showing up and being me. By simply showing up and being me. Okay. So I'm gonna do last call here for readings. Would anybody else like to do a reading tonight? Business, purpose. Let me make sure. I'm going to bring in Solange real quick just to see if there's anybody else. Solange, is there anybody that we missed? Or did we get everybody?
We get everybody here, and I just shared in some groups as well, just in case if someone is interested.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. Well, thank you guys for dropping in tonight. I am here every Tuesday from 6 to 7. If you guys want to ever go deeper, I do have a reading available that I record for you, and you can ask basically any 3 questions about your business, and we can get you details for that. If you're on Facebook, you can just send me a DM or leave me a comment, and I'll give you the details about that. If you are on YouTube, I'm not able to go back and like find your comments again on YouTube. So just make sure that you leave some way to stay in touch with you, or you can email me directly. My email, I'll put it here. It's ashley@ashleynbradley.com. And then Elaine, or for anybody else, I'm so happy and grateful that money comes to me So I think it's an increasing amounts through multiple sources on a regular basis by just showing up and being me. I think I have it somewhere. I don't know. Or you can DM me, Elaine, and I'll send it to you. So this is my email address, ashley@ashleyandbradley.com. So if you do have any questions about doing that 3-question reading, or I do have a offer going on right now for people that want to do an in-depth business reading and a coaching session and their plan for the next 30 days. So if anybody is in that place where they're kind of like unsure about where they're at and they're still waiting for some things to get it like clicked into place before they move forward, or if you just don't want to go it alone and you want to really have somebody by your side helping you, depending on what kind of business you have, I would talk and see if it made sense for me and if I was the right person to help you. But I do have a special package going on right now called Next Level Business Magic. So you can always reach out to me and get details for that. So thanks, everybody. I hope that everyone has a really good night, and I will see you guys next Tuesday.